Start building the card model. There's some essentials you need. First you need your model, obviously. Have a quick look through the model, get yourself familiar with it. You could do this over a period of time, keep going through it until you got everything down that you need to get down to understand it. The legend here will tell you where you need to cut, what waste of space pieces you have to cut out, whether you have to roll them around a piece of wire or something, or cut it at an angle. It also tells you on here, like this one's 1 star, it's 0.5 millimeters and 1 millimeter card stock you'll need for it, so you'll have to buy them extra. You might have places to get that from already. If you look through the card model itself, it also tells you in here, there's usually somewhere in here, oh here it is. In this particular, on it you've got ships, you've got masts you need to get, usually made from wood because they're tapered, or a lot of cases actually metal, brass rod, and it will tell you in here what's the thickness of the brass rod and how long it is, and you'll need to write those down to find out which ones you need, how much you need for the model itself. Keep looking at this one. I want to build it. It's a long job. So we'll put that model to one side. We'll get on with the tools themselves. Now, we'll start with something to cut it out with. There are 2 basic cutting systems. Scissors. I'll put those to one side because I hardly ever use them. My preferred method up to a couple of years ago was the scalpel and spare blades, so make sure you got them. Now I use these pen knives, not a pen knife but a pen knives. It's their designer cutting knives. These I've been doing a lot better cuts with them. The scalpel can bend quite a lot on the blade. It's a long way from the point to where it's rigid. This one, it's very short, so don't bend, well, not that much anyway. Hardly noticeable. This comes with 10 spare blades, but you can get some more. They're just circle cutter blades. That's the next thing, circle cutters. I think these are an essential tool as well. I've just bought this one. It does a lot bigger circles than that. This is my old one. This does, what did I say this does? It does 8mm circles, this one will do 14mm circles minimum. That's these are the better ones to get if you can, and they're both just as cheap. This one, we've got the handle right above the turner's piece here. This one, the handle's a bit off centre, and I found this a little bit better, but I'll have to get used to it. So that's those 2. Next thing is you need something to cut with, cut against. Use steel rulers. Now I've got a 6-inch and 12-inch here. Stainless steel rulers. Don't use aluminium. Don't use plastic. When you're cutting with a knife, the steel will blunt your knife. Plastic or aluminium, it cuts into it. So next time you cut, like if it's aluminium, you take a little nick out of it. Next time you come down for a long straight, it'll come down and then have a little wobble in it. So don't use those. Make sure you get the steel ones. Next piece of essential equipment. Right, you'll need something to hold the card together while it's drying. Now that could be a heavy weight of books on top of it, or you might, for smaller parts you'll need clamps, so put those down there. Some sort of clamping. I've got these washing line pegs. They got a soft rubber piece here. I use that for with plastic models as well. Very good those. Got them on the market actually. I'm not sure where you get them else. You might get them on Amazon. Actually, I think you get most of this stuff on Amazon. Again, for holding parts, for painting, for sticking together. You can't go wrong with a set of tweezers. Now, these two usually come in a set together. They're auto close and hold the parts together nicely. This is an old humble one I had from a long time ago. But an eyebrow tweezers or something like that, that would be ideal for it. Also, while you're cutting that, you might have to mark the bit where you're doing or whatever, or something. Anyway, you might have cut a number off and you use a pen to put the number back on. The black pen can be used for, oh, excuse me, I didn't put one out. Yeah. There we go. Once you cut the card and you need to blacken the edge because there's a little bit of white left over there, you could use this just to blacken the edge of the card here, like the end here. That's not very good, that end. That's like that. And you've got the edge blackened quite nicely there. The sharp is always good for that sort of thing. So I'll put those up there. Next thing you need is sandpaper, sanding sticks. If you get a medium and coarse sanding paper, some places they sell individual sheets. Get a couple of sheets of each. One medium coarse, one fine coarse. You can then stick them to lollipop sticks, which will, in the summer I always keep my lollipop sticks because you, like I said, you can stick the sandpaper to them and you've got a sanding stick there. Very useful and free, of course. The other ones I use are sanding pads like these. Use them on my plastic models and my card models. I also use these, which are the nail files. You can get these anywhere. Markets, boots, all sorts of places you can get them. You usually get 5 in a pack like these long ones here. One thing I do with them is the ends of a couple of them I cut down. That's to get into the very tight places to do the sanding with. And the same with this long one here. I've got a thin half a section and the full section to go on to get in those really awkward places. And also I leave a couple full length to do in the long pieces. Next piece isn't essential, but I do recommend it, and that's the square. Always useful to have. You've got your steel rule, which you've got a square end on it here, so you could use that to square up your parts with. It's always useful to have a square because this is quite heavy. It's a little engineer square, 2-inch engineer square. It's quite a heavy weight, so you can hold the part down and you can hold the part against it to give it absolutely square. Next piece is an essential again. Set of drills. These ones, they're about £5-ish, and a pin vise to go with it. You usually get the set and the pin vise together, so I bought these ones separately. Last thing I think that again is not essential, but I think it is, diamond stones. I got 3 of those for £5, of course medium and fine. This is the fine one. I also got this one long time ago. It goes on the keychain. I think it was about 50p, literally, but during the summertime it actually warped a bit. But still, for sharpening your blades, because they will go blunt on you, that's ideal things for it. Next thing is, when you're spreading out the glue, You need something to spread it out with. I've got an old Christmas card here. It's actually broken already, but it's good for spreading the glue onto the card on big sections of card. Use toothpicks or something like that on the smaller sides, or well, I just pick up a scrap bit of paper that I'll cut off or card, and I use that to scrape small parts with the glue to smooth it out. On large sheets, this isn't essential, but I do have it. I have a print roll I bought. Again, quite cheap. I think it was about £2.35 when I bought that. Again, this is for the big sheets. When you're doing an A4 sheet and you want to put the whole sheet onto the card, you use this to roll out the card, the glue on the card. Don't use this to roll out glue on the 1mm or 0.5mm card or 2mm card, the backing up card. Don't use it on that, because sometimes the glue dries a little bit and it will pull the card apart and it'll be left on here stuck to the roller. So use this on the parts, not where you're putting them onto. So that's that one. One essential thing for me is a magnifying glass. It's always helpful to actually get in there and have a good look to see whether you got on right on the line or not. But I'm going to leave that off because it's just for me with bad eyes. There is another essential item I think that's needed. Is a glue bottle. One of these with a nice fine little needle on it. That's ideal for putting your glue on. Very small parts. Super glue. It's just a recent addition to my essential tools here. So is Roket glue and glue and glaze. Glue and glaze is for the clear parts, like your windows, that sort of thing. Roket card glue, it's like a super glue but for card. It's not actually super glue, it's a PVA, but it's a very fast drying PVA and it really does stick them a lot. For the general wood glue, there is a lot on the market. I've tried a lot of them. There's Schools glue and all sorts of things. Yoo-hoo, I do not recommend Yoo-hoo. A lot of people over in Poland use Yoo-hoo for their models. I've seen them using it. If you go away from your house and you got say you got a card model in the shed in the back garden where you do your modelling, and it's got a bit damp, cold, you'll find that you come back and all the parts are all falling apart. I know, I've had this done to me. I moved over here and it was 2 weeks before I could get back to my old place to get the last bit out there, and I had a Fokker triplane in there that I'd done with Yoo-hoo. It was all in bits on the bench. It literally fell apart. So I don't recommend Yoo-hoo really to do. What I do actually recommend is a waterproof glue that's washable when it's wet but water resistant when it's actually dried, and I use Gorilla Glue. It's quite a thick glue, so you don't need a lot of it. I've seen people pour glue onto models to stick them together. That's fine, but it does warp the card because it's wet glue. It also takes longer to dry if you put a load on there. You could smear this over a part and then stick it down, and it's almost instantly stuck. It's grabbed. That's what I meant to say. Grabbed the two parts together. It dries overnight, so the next morning you could start doing the build again. That's for that glue. There are other ones like that, but I haven't used them, so I can't recommend them. But Gorilla Glue, I can recommend. You can even get this at Asda, Sainsbury's, Tesco's, any supermarket. The big ones, not the little ones, but the big ones. Or you can get it on Amazon. All this stuff can be got from Amazon. The Roket and Glaze glue, I would suggest actually going to your local model shop to get it. Most model shops do keep this in stock. It's about £7 a bottle, so it's not cheap. I think the glue and glaze is about £5 and the card glue is about £7. But if you buy it online, they usually charge you postage as well on top of that. So be careful, and there's a lot of shops out there on Amazon and eBay. This can go up to about £9 a bottle, so you've got to be very careful where you get it from. But you can get it on Amazon for free post for about £7, the same as the shop. So if you haven't got a model shop near you, go on there, have a look, have a good look round. I'll put the stuff actually in the description and where to get it. But have a look around. Don't take my word for it. Have a look around, because the prices change all the time. Have a search. Scroll down the page a little bit and you've got a load of them underneath. Similar items. Search along there, see if you can find one cheaper to get it. Anyway, that's it for the tools. I'm going to put these away now and we'll get on with the model. One thing I forgot to mention, and that is, during the build I will be using other bits and pieces, other tools. Not exactly modelling tools, but tools I found useful for doing certain items. I think I'll give you an example right now. On the loco that I'm building now with the wagons and that, it's going to start with the coaches. I know I probably said I'm going to start with all of them. I'm going to start with the coaches first. This I had the other night, pizza. I was doing the coach floors, and in the instruction it said cut a groove in the floors where the boards meet to enhance the model. I tried that. Just a second. Oh, it's just here. So what I did, I done the wagon one, which is the van, and this is inside, so you don't actually see it. I thought I'd try it on this, see if it doesn't work. So I cut the lines here, here and here. Here's a picture. The other lines I've done with the pizza cutter. I just rolled it back, forwards and back 3 times. Twice forward, once back. And it's put a nice groove in the card. I also did the with a screwdriver, a Phillips screwdriver. I just made a little indentation where the bolt holes are, the rivets. I just put a bit of glue in there. That's just to see if it would work, and it's worked out quite nicely. I will say that if you look on the photograph, a couple of them have got like little holes in them. Go back on those, just put a little bit of glue just on top of them. If they look a bit flat, put a little bit of glue on top of it. Again, it'll hold in place. That Gorilla Glue it won't spread. Leave it to dry, give it a coat of paint, and they'll come up nicely for you. Some come up nice, others didn't. So I mean, but for rivet detail, it's ideal. I mean, okay, some of them you'll have to go over twice. That is the tools. Hopefully it'll give you some idea. The basic tools, what you need, if you're just starting out, what you need is steel rule, scissors, a knife. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Scissors, knife, pack of drills. I would suggest a cheap circle cutter. So with about £1.50 you get these for. And some sandpaper, or sanding sticks. And glue, of course. What with glue? That is all you need to get that piece of cake. That's all you really need to build the model. And for the tools section, like I said, you can get scissors online. This actually came as a set when I bought something, and I had no choice. It was pink. I've actually got another set here that I got. It's grey, but it's exactly the same scissors here. This is the slightly smaller set of scissors here, but you've got 3 scissors in the set. A lot of them like that. You'll get a large, medium and small. Keep that set just for cutting card. It will keep them sharper longer. Also, if you do get a stone, you can sharpen your scissors with it as well. It's just a question of just giving it a little bit of a rub on the edge there 2 or 3 times, and you'll find that a diamond stone will actually sharpen that really nicely, very quickly. And same with the blades as well. If your blade goes a little bit blunt while you're cutting, it will do with 1mm card. Rub it on the stone 2 or 3 times either side at the same angle as the blade is ground at the time. You've got another nice sharp knife you can carry on then, and it also extends the life of the blades. So that is, I think, essentials. I'm going to leave it there now. As I said, there's going to be more stuff in the videos as I come to them, and I'll show you and explain why I'm using it, although you don't absolutely necessarily need it. So that's it for now. So for me and Carla, thanks for watching. Hope this has been helpful for you. I'll have the first bit of the video up very shortly. I'm just processing it now. I've got one more bit of video to do. Once I put that on there, I'll put the video out, probably over the weekend. So have a nice weekend. Keep up the modelling. For me and Carla, see you all soon. Bye for now.
Take the railway that runs to Birmingham town. 3 hours out of Euston, they let you all get down. 11 minutes is allowed, we have to keep up speed, and the Wolverton refreshment room will answer every need.